tend the garden with me. We have so
Well, welcome to April. My God, it's hailing outside, and I believe we're also calling for a tornado this month. So good luck, April. Man, kind of brutal, but anyways, it is what it is. We got to deal with the weather we're given, I guess, right? Oh, wait, hold on. Is it stopping just like that? I think did the intensity of the hail just drop off, or am I dreaming? Anyway, just hanging out here for a little bit. I was online early this morning to see if we had a planter available. I will probably call the dealer here in a minute and see if maybe he's got something that's not on his website. He's really quick to put things on his website, which is good. But anyways, I just had the doors open there to get a little bit of fresh air. I burned my bacon this morning and got to air out the house. Kind of nasty. Anyways, that was a lot of work in the last episode. If you recall, we are basically at the point now where all we need is a planter so we can put our beets in. And then really from there, we just need to, we'll probably at that point, the next major event will be mowing the grass again, grabbing some more bales, and then harvesting our wheat, which should be about July. The other thing I want to keep an eye on, I think our silage should be about fermented. And with only, I think, 12 cows, we can probably afford to sell maybe 20 bales. I've got to put an awning or something out here so I can keep myself from getting hit in the head when it's raining or hailing or whatever. But anyways, yeah, so let's go online here and see if they've got anything. All right, we'll just quickly scan through his inventory here. The one thing I noticed this morning is that he did manage to sell that JCB. So no surprise purchase since the last time I saw you. I've been known to do that at times where I was like, hey, look, I just spent $200,000, but I didn't. There's a harvester there, but $143,000. I think we can do better. If it turns out we're gonna have to spend $100,000 or more, then we'll probably just go with a smaller new harvester and worry about an upgrade at some other time. So that's not going to get us beets. That is a 6-meter cedar, which is this is a great cedar anyways, but not what we're looking for. This could be an option here. This is a planter that will put down beets for us, as well as soybeans, because I think I did mention, perhaps instead of putting wheat in after our wheat's done, maybe we put soybeans in and take the straw off that. The only thing is I've used this extensively on New Frontier. So if I can avoid using it here, I will. But at it says $15,000. Like, what the hell? And it's 6.5 meters. So it's not the widest, but like, geez, for this first season, maybe that's not a bad idea. If there's no other option today, maybe that's probably what I'm going to end up doing. Okay, so I was looking at this hard and heavy. This is a $200,000+ harvester that we could pick up for a low price of $99,000 in only 21 hours. If it was July right now and the wheat was ready and we had to make a choice, you could probably convince me that this is the best option, but we got some time. I'm patient. Nothing. Okay. So, I wonder if that's my old trailer that we sold him, the one we bought in Poland. I had a good look at this. This is a bigger version of what we have, although we have a 14-meter spread. This thing's a 12-meter spread, but it holds 24,000 liters instead of 18,000 liters. It's the same brand as what we already have. I thought about trading it in, but it'd be a $12,000 cash outlay after the trade, so I'm not going to do that for 6,000 liters or whatever of increased capacity. Especially once we start producing our own slurry. We won't have to worry so much about the long trip over to the animal dealer to buy our slurry. So, okay, nothing here. All right, you know what? Screw it. Let's just buy this. We'll be able to put our beets in. There's really no edits needed. Maybe some Michelins. Ooh. Aggressive. All right, well, let's head over to the store and grab that planter. I have something else over there that I did buy. Oh, God, look at this. Crazy. Oh, I left my JCB outside. I wanted to clean it, but I guess we'll do that anyways. I think this hail should stop hopefully soon anyways. Actually, no, I think it was calling for hail until early afternoon. So we may be working in the hail for a little bit here. It's whatever, it is what it is, you know what I mean? Yeah, that looks pretty good. All right, so we'll just get this thing warmed up and then we'll go take off. No other changes around here. The animals are, cooking along. Oh, let's go. Here, let's let that warm up for a second. We'll go check our silage. Still grass. All right, let's go pick this up. Here's on another note. So I contacted the dealer, his buddy there, and had them bring by 2 more bulk stations, basically. So now the white one is where we'll get our lime, the yellow one is where we'll get our seeds, and the green one is where we're going to get our solid fertilizer. All right, so the other thing that I purchased, there was a grain header that was on sale, kind of a non-branded one. As you can see, it comes with already built in with a like its own wheels. So I picked that up for like $17,000, and it was well over half price. So it was a good deal. We're gonna need that eventually. It'll take wheat off. Plus, I could harvest soybeans if we do end up going that route. That route. Oh, this thing. Okay, so if you were, I think we even didn't we use this on polling too? I think we did. And I remember getting in a lot of trouble driving down the street. All right, we'll take a peek here. If it looks like we can make a break for it without getting into trouble with any traffic, we will. But otherwise, we're gonna have to we'll go pick up the carrier for it. Will we even fit through here? I don't even know about that. Yeah, we need to get the attachment for this. All right, so this is what we need here. It's $1,200. This will allow us to tow that, which, yeah, we definitely use this in Poland because it took me forever to figure this out. All right, easy for me to say now because obviously we have money, but when a reasonable planter shows up in the used listings, then we'll pick it up and we'll replace this because honestly, I swear I've used this on New Frontier and on the Poland series. There we go. I remember this giving me so much trouble in the past trying to figure out how to make this work. All right, so there's no lights on it, so hopefully even in the hail, hopefully people will see us, but let's go get this swapped out. So yeah, we will replace this. Well, not swapped out. Let's go get this in the field. We will replace this though once there's a good option. I don't like using the same thing over and over again. Even though sometimes it's impossible not to. If you recall, there was I think it was an FS22. We had a 6-meter John Deere, like it looked like just basically a Lego block, like a long Lego block, and it was a planter or a seeder. I don't remember what it was, but man, we just sort of had no choice but to use that thing all the time because it was like I think $6,000. It had a huge capacity. It was a decent working width. You could pull it with like something that had next to no horsepower. So $3,863 in fertilizer. But basically the dealer is just going to continue to fill these up for me. They got somebody that does a run every day for a bunch of clients of theirs. And then they just monitor it and charge me accordingly. All right, so I'm supposed to be able to open up the fertilizer covers. And then I believe that's just supposed to open. All right, so it was not necessarily successful in trying to figure out how to open up the cover. But I did manage to get this thing filled with seeds. So I'll figure that out and we'll make good on... I just managed to bypass the system for a second there and get seeds in this thing. So we'll make good with the store once we figure out exactly what that cost was supposed to be. But in the meantime, I'm contacted the locals here. So I should have somebody come in here in a minute. So I'm going to get this thing lined up and then we'll get somebody to start running seeds for us. All right, well, Rinky is... heading out. I got him set up with 4 headlands just to be safe because we did expand the field a bit, so I'm not entirely sure how some of the trees in that are going to impact being able to turn around and such. So I figure with 4 headlands that should leave more than enough room. I mean, this is a 6.5 meter working width, so we've got like what 12, 24, 25-ish meters of turning space. So we should be okay. But anyways, let's make sure we're putting the right thing in there. I had it set to sugar beets, and yes, indeed, it's sugar beets. So look at that, folks. This is officially the first time that I'm ever planting a root crop, let alone sugar beets. All right, I was just keeping an eye. This Renke looks... Whoa, where are you going, buddy? Whoa, I was just about to say you're a good driver. What the hell? Is it just because you're down at this end? Like literally was about to say, this Renke is a pretty smooth operator, as Carlos Sainz would say. But no, you know what, man? You almost killed me, so I got my eyes on you, buddy. I anticipate needing to assist in filling up at some point here, but in the meantime, I think we're all right. All right, so we're just going to run back over and grab a tractor so we can go get that header. It's just sitting over at the shop, taking up space. Okay, everything is over here. I'm certainly not going to be taking the Ford today. I don't feel like getting pelted in the head by hail as I'm going over to the store. If it clears up later, we'll drive the Ford, though. I really like driving it, but right now, we can't do any more damage to the Z-door than has already been done over the years. It's kind of beaten, so this will be the one we take over to pick the header up. And then hopefully we find a good harvester to go along with it. I really don't want to spend $100,000. There's a few options. There's a couple options. Like there's some old, I shouldn't say old, but there's some cultivators that are, or there's some harvesters that are still in production. I say old because the design hasn't changed. They're not the modern style, large scale harvesters that we would like to see, but they would definitely do the trick to and help us kind of preserve some of our cash flow. But I'd like to kind of go big, to be honest with you. But going big comes with big dollars. All right, so I should be able to tow this with no issue. And then we'll just find a quiet corner to stash this. Can I get right around here? I think I can. You know what? I can see too. We may want to... Oh, nope. Wait, will I fit through there? I'm not doing that. Let's not do that. We may want to kind of run it through our own little shop there too, and maybe grease up all the fittings and whatnot to make sure that this thing is in prime harvesting condition for us when it comes time. These things are notorious for leaving yield on the field if they're not serviced properly. How's old Ranky doing out there? Keep it up, buddy. Yeah, I doubt we're going to find a black harvester to go with this black header, but at least it wasn't like a John Deere header that was on sale, and we end up with like a yellow harvester or something. All right, so let's find a place that we can hide this. I mean, it's going to sit... I guess, yeah, I mean, it should sit outside. Well, let's go check the fittings and everything. We'll get it over to our little shop, and we'll just give it a quick inspection here. Even though it's hailing, please, Mother Nature, stop. Also, I don't remember the last time the oil was changed in this. Yeah, so about $1,000 in about $1,000 in parts and fluids, and another $600 in the Z-Tor, and everything is looking good. All right, so I just need to find a place to stash this. Can I stash it behind the building here? No, that's a bad plan. I think I'll stash it behind the silo for now. Yeah, I can't wait to use this thing. I'm wondering what kind of money we're going to make off that wheat field, because if you think about it, I don't really have a lot of great ways of making money here until we really get rolling. I mean, the harvest, what was the beet harvest was like 90 grand or something like that. So, I mean, I anticipate making more this time around, even if we only just take the beets off and we don't cut them and we sell them right away. If we cut them and then sell the sugar beet cut right away, then we'll make more money. I'll have had to, make a purchase. So I think we saw there was a $30,000, I think it's still there too, sugar beet cutter on sale, right? So, I mean, we'd have to make at least $130,000 for it to make sense, but anyways, we could, we'll see how that goes. Let's pop this into the shed. I'm going to grab the telehandler, and then we're just going to take a quick look and see at how fermented those bales are, because then we'll likely need to do a calculation here to figure out what, if any, we think we can sell, because it will help us generate a couple bucks. There's no way that our fleet of cows, even if we went and added another 6 right now, which is something I think we're going to do, there's no way they're going to eat all of that before the next time we have to make mow the lawn, basically. So I definitely think we can afford to sell about half those bales, or at least a trailer load, All right, so let's just park this up over here. We'll get one of the bales out, and then we'll take a look and see what the status is. Oh, it snuck up on me. It was right behind me. Okay, so that's at 94%. So my guess is by the time Lemke over there has done the field, we can potentially be ready to sell a number of these, because I mean, we had 40 30s, 360,000. Yeah. So, I mean, we could probably take 20 bales and sell them. I mean, each bale right now is worth about $720. So, I mean, if we sold 20 of them, there's almost $15,000 that we could pick up just to generate some cash. Or I mean, I guess we could wait a little bit too. It doesn't really matter. I'm just trying to find some stuff to do while we're waiting for harvest season. So, you know what we'll do? Yeah, like let's throw that back in there for now. But you can see the kind of money that we're gonna make. We might as well let these ferment in peace, and then we'll see how far we get today, and maybe that's something that we're gonna do. And so I think we'll probably go ahead inside here while Lemke suffers out in the field, because there's nothing else immediately we need to do. Might as well just take this over to the house so I don't have to walk across the yard. And then I think what I'll do is I'll get on the phone with the dealer again. Seems like that's the only person I ever call. And we'll inquire about a roller and some form of sprayer for herbicide. Also, I guess I should get a hold of his buddy and find some kind of a bulk herbicide tank here, because that might be the last sort of input we need. Seeds, fertilizer, lime. We're going to have animals for our organic fertilizer, and then some type of herbicide. We have a fuel tank. So yeah, that should be it. I can see old Lemke out there. So anyways, okay, I'm going to do that, and we will catch up here. Hopefully it won't be hailing anymore. All right, super random phone call, but we got a job. I was just called by kind of out of the blue. I don't really know where the guy got my number from, but it's actually a guy that owns a field pretty much right next to our grass field. Maybe it was that other farmer we were talking to. Might have given this guy my info. Anyways, he... where did I put that baler? Over here. Yeah, anyways, he's got a field that needs some bales. Sorry, he's got his grass mowed up and he needs it baled. So we're going to grab our baler and go over there. He said he's going to pay me $3,000 too, which is kind of funny. There we go. So we might as well... I'm sitting here basically looking out the window. I've kind of resigned to the fact that we're going to end up having to purchase a new sprayer and a new roller. The dealer's got nothing on the radar for either, and he said unless something really shows up last minute. But yeah, so I mean, you know, me and my cheapness, I'm waiting for something used to pop up, and then I get this phone call. So I'm like, yeah, sure, no problem, man. I'll come and do some bales. So we're gonna head over there now. I believe if I head down here, I'll be able to get. He's got an end gate. I can't access it from the same little dirt road that we get into, but anyways, yeah, it's kind of funny. So we're going to head down there right now. We'll get that done, and then hopefully by then Lemke is almost done, and then we'll go. There are a couple inexpensive options that we can look at for sprayers. Sprayers that kind of run a relatively small sprayer off the back, but then we can put an external tank in the front and just run a hose, and it'll eat from there. So we've got that. Also, I did have... I think I got ripped off here, to be honest with you. That same contractor came in. We had a tank put in to hold bulk herbicide. So and then I had him fill it, and I swear I paid. I think maybe it was just because of the delivery. Oh, this must be it right here. Wait. Oh, bale wrapping. Okay. I misunderstood. He wants his bales wrapped, not baled. So okay, we'll go get the bale wrapper. Let's open this anyways. Whoa. Yeah, can I turn around here? Anyways, yeah, I had a 15,000 liter tank put in, and so that cost about $10,000, plus some pylons and some stuff that I guess by law I'm supposed to have when I put in a herbicide tank. But anyways, I won't complain. I'll just comment. So by the time I put that in, $10,000, and then I had him fill it. It was about 15,000 liters. That's the capacity of the tank, and it cost me $19,800. And I swear, when I go online, that same 15,000 liters, if I bought it just in like IBCs, for example, it's going to cost me about $18,000. So not totally pumped about that, but I guess, you know, maybe that was the delivery fee. I guess I don't know. It's on a different program than the than the 3 silos we put in. I mean, that guy there is basically, he's baking in a premium for all of his goods there too, but I think I did the math on that stuff. I'm going to pay less. He doesn't have a herbicide. Maybe there's like a danger in delivering herbicide, and that's why I got to pay a premium, but anyways, whatever. You know what? We'll just forget about that. We'll pay and move on. All right, thankfully we still have some wrap left. Well, it didn't look like too many bales anyway, so that's not so bad. I like using that baler, so it's kind of a shame that it's bale wrapping, but it's $3,000 is $3,000, so I'll take it either way. So that has me curious. I wonder if there's more people out there that need work, or that have work to be done. I'll have to figure out how to find out, I guess. This field comes up on you fast. I wasn't even paying attention. I was just listening to this tractor. I kind of wish all the tractors sounded like this, or as cool as this, or whatever. All right, what do we see? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 bales, I guess. That's not bad. Wrap 9 bales, get $3,000. Cha-ching. So this field is actually one that I was looking at whether or not we would want to buy it. I'm going to often talk about whether or not we should be buying something and then maybe never do anything, but maybe sometimes do something. I find that's the best way to kind of test fit how it feels. You got to start talking about it, and then sometimes you then put the research in, and then that that initial conversation turns into something. But I mean, if we had, I think in the last episode I even contemplated buying that other. Oh no, there's a 10th bale over here. Buying that 9-acre field that the farmer whose nephew put the telephone pole bridge in. Contemplated buying that, and then turning our smaller field, which is right on the other side of this fence, the 5 acres, into maybe a wheat field. Well, if we bought this field, we literally could take this fence out and just make one nice big field also. I don't know how much this field would be, but I'm sure if we talked to the guy, he would probably cut us a deal. Seems like everybody, when you approach them, is willing to sell their land. But don't worry too much. I doubt we're going to do anything right away anyways. I keep saying it, but I really want to get a year under our belt here with some cash still in hand, so that way we know. So that way we don't run short. But knowing now that there may be some people in the area willing to pay us to do some work, that could be a good supplement for our income. Oh, the other thing I was talking to, so Buddy that came by to put that the herbicide tank in, he'd asked me if I had any thought that maybe I'd be putting in a greenhouse or two. He said they're a good source of additional income as well. Some of the farmers in the area have had them build anywhere from small to large size greenhouses. So we may look at that. We may look at that and set up a kind of an automatic pickup with the local farmers market, where every day they can come and just grab whatever's grown and pay us accordingly. So we sort of really never have to do anything with them. The guy that does the installs mentioned that he can even hook up water, so that way we don't have to supply water. They just literally just grow and sell, and we never have to do anything. It's just the initial cost up front. Oh, okay, so there you go. All right, well, I'll get on the phone with Buddy here and let him know that we have... I'll shut his gate first of all. Be a good neighbor. I'll let him know that his bales are all done, and he can just come and get them. I'll get him to e-transfer me the $3,000. In Canada, e-transfer is an electronic funds transfer. I realize that in different countries, e-transfer is not the terminology. I learned that in a comment sort of way back when. I don't know what series, but someone was kind enough to let me know that e-transfer is maybe only a Canadian term. But I'll get him to e-transfer me the money, wire transfer or whatever, Western Union me the money if we were maybe in the islands, and then we'll check on old Lemke out there in the field and see how he's doing. All right, so the $3,000 is now in the bank. Let's just get this locked up. Everything's put away here. On a side note, that field would cost us, so it's a little less than 4 acres, and it would cost us a little less than $100,000. So just a bit of a note there if we were going to consider making the purchase. Oh, here's our herbicide tank. Can you believe the amount of... Okay, so this is all the stuff that I was required to do. So it had to be a certain distance away from the building, otherwise I would have just stuck it right next to the building. I had to put pylons up. I had to put these bars up because it's in a high traffic area. They had a couple Jersey barriers there, so I had to slam those down. And then I needed, they said I was going to need 3 pylons. So there you go. How's that for a circus act? They did like the fact that there was a light already. Otherwise, I would have had to put in a light. So anyways, that thing's holding 15,000 liters of herbicide for us, ready to spray. So we'll go back here and check on our buddy. Oh, okay. Jeez. I'd say he's cooking along, may even be on the headlands already? No, it can't be. Ooh, definitely getting everything dirty. Yeah, you know what? Here's a smooth corner here. I would say that he's working on the first headland already. That's cool. Okay, so that'll be done soon. So, oh wait, no, hold on. As soon as I say that, he's doing donuts over here. No, maybe. Yeah, yeah, okay. Never mind. Definitely still working on the headlands. It's just trying to make a corner there. So here, let's get out of the way. Let's leave poor Lemke alone there. So the funny note on the greenhouse. So I think I had mentioned something about maybe, because if you look in this forest here, there's a relatively large and somewhat flat area here. It's hard to see with these trees, but I mean, basically there's almost like it's almost like you go up a bit of a hill and then there's a shelf up here. So if we had the guys, God, we're stuck in the bushes. Get me out of here. Oh God. So if I had the guys in here to, oh no, we're in the cow shed. All right, get me out of here. Right over here. Here, we'll stand on the fence. So if I had some of the guys in here to, well, I could take the trees down, but if somebody was able to work the land a little bit and build a pad there, that could be a good place for a greenhouse or two. Not to mention, perhaps we could slide a bit of a shed in there. So that is definitely on the radar in the interest of making the best use of our space. What I would want to do is sort of keep it away from the house, so there's still be plenty of trees between us and the house. Like if I start cutting into this forest here, these woods, then we start getting close to the house quickly. No, actually not that quick. It's way over there. So there is usable space here. So I guess what I'm saying is over the summertime, that might be something that we consider doing is really putting some effort into this area here, cleaning it up. I like the idea of a couple greenhouses that, one of the local farmers market people can come by and just grab whatever's here, give us the cash, and then they can go and sell it in their market. And if we have water hookup, we don't even have to do anything. We just let it keep making us money, which would be fantastic. There's a greenhouse we can put in, which is root crop friendly. So we could grow like carrots and potatoes and stuff in there, and on a small scale. That would be great for the little farmers market. And then we could sell our beets at the bigger wholesale market. So something to consider. So this thing's going to get put away. I believe we're going to pull the Fiat out because we're going to go grab the sprayer. What we'll do is we'll end up spraying first, and then we will put then we'll get a roller and roll everything, and then that should make for a pretty dang nice beet field, I think. And the reason I'm grabbing the Fiat is because I have the PTO on the front and the 3-point. Looks like, is there a PTO on the front of this? No, it's just a trailer, like one of those pin hitches. So I could hook up to a trailer and back up if I needed to. I almost wonder at some point if this needs a bit of another refresh, repaint, and maybe we just park it in our museum. I really don't think selling it would make sense. I think it's probably worth more to us to keep until we can't keep it no longer, But we could park it next to the little Porsche tractor in our little tractor museum. We need a building for it. All right, so let's go over to the store. Let's bite the bullet and figure out what we're doing for a sprayer. Oh, there's more wood there. When they put those two silos in, especially the fertilizer one, there was a big oak tree there. So I ended up having to cut it down, and I just shoved everything off onto the side hill there. We're going to keep our eyes open for a wood chipper, especially like over the summer if we're chopping down more trees, and the trees are going to, like the trees everywhere, the scrap or whatever is going to become a bit of a problem quickly if we're not on top of it. All right, old Lemke Balls is still over there. Keep it up, buddy. He's going to message me if he starts running low on fertilizer or seeds. And here we are where, man, how much money have we spent here so far? Just throw the hazards on. That should be safe there. Okay, let's go spend some money. All right, so a couple things I'm considering, and one of them is actually something we had already used. Actually, I think we even use this in Poland, which I hate doing, but this ROW. So for basically less than $10,000, we can put this 2,700 liter trailer behind us, and then this has got another 200. So almost 3,000 liters of herbicide this will carry. But basically, this is a trailered. I can pull this with any one of my tractors. Yeah, I think it was good for us in Poland, and I think this would work well for us here as well. There's just not a lot of other good options. This is a 21 meter working width. Because if I look up here, I've got some sort of nice, small armed tanks, I guess, rear tanks that are great. And I could put a front. So here, same thing for less than 10 grand. I can have this tank on the front that would hold only 1,100 liters. And then I could have this one on the back. Run a hose at 12 meter working width, but that doesn't make sense. I mean, these things are great, but I've used them so much. Perhaps what we're going to do, ultimately what I'd like to be able to do is to get into one of these trailered monsters, big working width. You can customize the colors in some of them, and then in the very future, get into some of these self-propelled sprayers, which are so cool, but we're not there. Like, look at this. This thing's ridiculous, with almost a 50 meter working width. But for our little farm, I think perhaps we may just go this route for now. That's a huge, almost 5,000 liter capacity. Yeah, so with the addition of lights in the back for $200, so when we're taking it down the road, we can have them flashing. I had them throw a coat of paint on the frame and the wheels to give us a slightly more customized look. Hopefully we can do that with the sprayer as well. But so now we're $5,250. We'll buy that. Of course, there's no color configurations here. That's perfect. Whatever. All right, so $9,200 later. Now, this I don't necessarily need. If I put the tank on the front, which I thought I was going to get something with a front-mounted tank, but the capacity of these are just so great that I don't really need to put the front-mounted tank. I can really now pull this with anything. We could use it behind the Ford. We could use it behind the Z-Tor, whatever we want. I could maybe even put this behind the telehandler. Don't think I can put it behind the Unimog. Jeez, I feel like half the guys at the boat launch that I see when I'm getting the canoe out of the water, they can't back up to their boat trailers. All right, there you go. So, whatever. It doesn't look too ridiculous. I couldn't change the color of the arms, but I think in the end, the whole overall package looks relatively decent. Not that that matters. It's how it performs, right? Obviously, and really beauty's in the eye of the beholder. To me, that looks fantastic. But let's go and fill up. We should be. Oh, there's old Lemke Vision right now. What's going on there, brother? Don't know what they're doing, but I should check. Let me go ask him where he's at for seeds and stuff. Okay, he's used about half of the amount of fertilizer and barely any of the seeds, so that's fantastic. Now, in all fairness, for about a quarter of the job that he was doing, I realized that I had workers able to purchase anything, like all their stuff. So when I showed up to check on him the first time, it looked like he hadn't used any seeds or any fertilizer, and then I realized I had forgot to change that. So it did cost me some money for sure, but I just don't know how much. All right, well, let's go fill this thing up. So we'll get I mean, what I say is about almost 5,000 liters this will hold. We have 15,000, so we'll get 3 fill-ups. But let's hope that it doesn't take 5,000 liters or more to do this field. I didn't opt for the additional like spot spray or any of that kind of stuff. All right, let's see if this is as easy as pulling up. Thank you, Lord. It's that easy. Looks like I can dump the herbicide back into it also. So I guess at some point, if we don't want to pay, I don't want to be cheap, but if we don't want to pay for the premium, like, I mean, I basically almost paid $2,000 premium to have all this delivered. So I guess I could bring my own and not, it looks like I can probably dump it into it. Literally just got to bring my telehandler and a trailer, load up 15,000 liters in IBCs. What is that? That's like roughly 7 or 8 of them, and then I can just fill it, save myself a couple bucks. Also, if I see anything on sale, because sometimes you see bulk items like liquids and seeds and that kind of stuff on sale. So if that's the case, then if I do see something there, that'd be cool. And finally, it's almost done. Wow, this thing takes forever. So we'll go park this up in the woods over here. That way we can keep an eye on the progress and we'll know when we can jump in. Yeah, and I guess I'll take this as one of these rare moments where we can just chill out for a minute until Buddy is done. All right, our friend here is just about ready to hit that last headland. Come on, buddy, it's not that hard. So I think what I'm going to do, we're going to grab a tractor. I think we'll grab the Ford this time. I have a roller. It was about 13 grand, 9.5 meters working width. Oh, wait. That should be fine. Requires 100 horsepower. So this thing's 126. So that should be fine. And I believe I can get a worker on the roller at the same time as I'm doing the herbicide spraying, just to kind of make best use of our time here. Yeah, I like this tractor. It's funny, I'm not 100% all, old beaten up tractors. I do like modern tractors too. They look kind of cool, but I don't know, there's just something about an old beat up tractor that just seems so much more delightful, if that's a word you can use for a tractor. But anyways, yeah, so we'll hopefully have a worker. I'll at least get halfway through a headland with the sprayer, and then we'll get a worker running headlands, because the sprayer I think is 3 or 4 meters working width wider than what the roller will be, so that should keep the worker out of our way, I think, and I should be able to stay out of the worker's way. I always love the look of a freshly rolled field. Oh no. Whew. I gotta start looking before I pull out here, man. I'm a death trap. I am a hazard. So we have, I mean, you know what, for Captain Cheap over here, I did manage to purchase some new equipment as well. It's not so bad though. Like, the new equipment I bought is not, I mean, this thing was, in the teens, right? It wasn't very expensive. So what is Buddy doing over there? Oh, I guess maybe on the last, okay. So working the last headland, hopefully. We can just rip through here, I think. I hope you enjoy the look of this roller now, because it certainly isn't going to look the same when it's done. I kind of want to follow Lemke over there through the last headland, because I just have a suspicion that when we go to run a harvester and I'm trying to cart and there's somebody running the harvester for us, that it might have a hard time with some of the headlands. Meaning that maybe I got to run a headland first. But yeah, let's go check. So they were running headlands in one direction, have opted to reverse directions here for this final headland, which I think is, yeah, anyways, whatever. I don't think that's abnormal. I think maybe they've just decided that's the best way to do it. It does get a little snug up here and a little wonky, with the trees and such. I don't think there's anything so close to the field that that tire is going to hit it, but I guess we're going to find out in a second here. Come on, buddy, you can do it. Not to mention, you could easily have just made that corner without having to make it into a 10-point corner. All right, so here's what I mean. There's one spot where things get a little odd. Okay, we're gonna pull a U-turn here and attack it from a different angle. Obviously, it's kind of funny because it sort of looks like the exact same angle they were already going. Funny, I see like lots of different opinions as to whether the AI workers are better now or worse now or whatever, but I tend to think they're better overall. Like, that was a pretty nifty little move that worker just made to avoid that tree and kind of handle that weird corner that I made. I swear in FS22 that would have been a complete meltdown, and they would have just run right into the tree and not even notified me. Just floor it and keep trying to push that tree out of the way, I think is how it would have worked in FS22. Just want to see what it looks like if I'm on my patio when a worker goes by. Hey, stop looking at me. That's good. I was thinking about putting a hot tub back here, and I guess I could. Maybe I want a little bit more privacy. Yeah, all right. That's good. Okay, well, they're just about done, so as soon as they're done, we'll get on the field. Yeah, so at least I can get partway through here. I've got my guided lines on because I got a feeling it's going to be a little hard. Yeah, there's no how are you supposed to tell the difference between where you've been and where you got to go? That's crazy. Okay, so let's go get the roller started. All right, so hopefully they behave and do what we think they're going to do, and then this just works. But we'll find out, I guess. What am I working at? I'm working at 12 kilometers an hour. They may be upwards of 13, but if they catch up, we'll make an adjustment, I guess, is all. That's okay. And there we are now spraying our fields. I think I've got a much wider working width here, too. I set myself on 2 headlands, and I set them on 3. So the hard part here is that you can't actually tell where you're spraying because it's not like the ground changes color or anything, right? Yeah, this is good. And then I guess really after this on the radar will be could do some yard cleanup. We can get ourselves to the next mowing and the wheat harvest. There's a few little projects I'd like to take on. Before the harvest. One, I mentioned clearing out some of those trees and maybe getting a pad put down where we could potentially throw some greenhouses in there. The other one is we have 2 wheat fields, and there are, I don't know, there's like maybe 2 or 3 trees separating the wheat fields plus a bit of a berm. I'd like to have somebody help me with that berm and get it out. So that way I can't, once the wheat harvest is done, if I cut the trees down and we take care of that berm, then I should be able to merge the fields. And yeah, I think that would work well for us. So that way I can just turn that into one field and not have to deal with 2 fields there. Okay, our friend is still back there. I feel like I'm being followed. And it looks like we're just barely going through the herbicide, which is good. So hopefully this goes according to plan. And honestly, I don't even know, do sugar beets grow weeds? Are weeds an issue with them? So, I mean, by me spraying right now, am I actually doing some good, or is this just a complete waste? That's one thing I don't know. All right, we've kind of made it around now where we're seeing the first pass of the roller in that beautiful, smooth field. What I don't know is, yeah, it looks like I'm putting some tire tracks in that smooth field because I don't think I'm wide enough here, am I? Where did I start anyways? I should be able to go to the next headland. So that's the problem when you can't see where you've been. But I think we pretty much started at the bit of a cutoff, didn't we? So great, that's good. So we got to remember, just past the house, that's where I started on the next headland. Jeez. We probably got to do this right after, like, so I wonder if I, on a brand new field, if I, maybe put manure or whatever down, and then manure or slurry, and then put the seeds in the ground, then put lime down, and then did this, and then the roller, I'd be able to see where I've been, because right now I'm a little blind. Well, we'll see when the sugar beets are growing and there's weeds everywhere. We'll know that I missed a big chunk. Speaking of missed a big chunk, there's a piece there that the roller didn't get. I also noticed there's a couple spots where old Lemke there didn't mention, but they didn't put any sugar beets in the ground, so we're gonna have a couple patches. Now, I'm not totally worried because we did pick up considerable amount more ground by expanding the field than the first time we harvested this. So it should more than even out. Not to mention, we're working now with a fully prepped field, right? We'll know that we've done all the stuff we needed to do to give these beets the best life, so that we should see, and then it's just the income, right? So I think I said made about 90 grand the last time we, the first go around in this field. So we'll see what we make this time. All right, we're cooking along here. I do realize a bit of a flaw in my strategy, and I don't know. So Buddy's going to do one more headland, which is fine. There's lots of room to work with there. But when he starts doing the up and downs, I don't know where he's going to start. So we may need to kind of work around each other, which also might mean I might ruin my my beautiful smooth land. But we'll see. We'll see what happens here. I'm getting through this pretty quickly. But yeah, I don't know what's going to happen. This working width is fantastic. We need to make sure, eventually you need a header, I need a planter, I need everything this wide. All right, so yeah, I can see our friend over there just about to hit the third roller headland. So who knows, maybe by the time they get all the way around, we'll be done. We've covered a lot of ground with basically half the tank. Well, I think there's still even a smaller tank available, right? So if we have that little reserve if we need it, but I think we're going to get all the way around on this big tank. And we might actually smash into our friend while trying to turn around here. Let's see. I think I should wait. Yeah, let's wait. Let's be safe. Well, Ford looks like it's doing well. Which it's kind of to be expected. It's not like it's the most in labor heavy type job. That tractor should be able to more than handle it. All right, I think I'm coming up on the. I got to get down to the end here because I'm sort of doing a half pass right now, even though it looks like it's coming out fully. So I'm probably just wasting some herbicide right now. But then I got to sneak back up to the other end there before our friend gets around the field, because I think there's just one more sort of quarter pass that we'll need to make, and then I think we're out of the field. Yeah, check this out. So we'll drop this. Well, I'm sure there's going to be a huge patch of weeds in our beets when they start growing, because I didn't realize. But I guess we'll cross that bridge when it comes. I don't know. Maybe we'll just leave them. Who knows? I don't think we had weeds in the beets when we got the field. Yeah, this should be the last pass right here. Yeah, I think it was in relatively good shape. I might have even been fertilized and everything too, for all I can remember. But anyways, it'll look good. It'll look good now. Yeah, it's gonna be nice to have this thing growing. And then I can actually say that I'm looking forward to the point where we get to harvest our sugar beets. I don't think I've ever said I'm going to look forward to harvesting sugar beets. So we'll sneak up the side here. I'll show you what I meant about that, merging these two fields also. Right, so these two wheat fields here are ours. I think they're separate because this one smaller one used to be part of that farm down there, but the farmer had sold it off a while back. So the previous owner, Walter's cousin there, never actually did anything with it. But I think if I was to take out, I guess it's just two trees. I thought there was more. And then if I was to get someone to come in and smooth out this berm, right, when we once we harvest this field, we can come in and cultivate, and then cut this whole centerpiece as a new piece of the field, so we can just merge the two fields. There's no sense having two fields because, I mean, we're only going to ever have one crop in here. So why make ourselves harvest two fields? We should just harvest one big field, right? And then we'll be able to cut these trees down. I got to get a wood chipper. Otherwise, we're gonna end up with so many of these trees. We'll end up with just piles of trees everywhere and never having done anything with it. So we definitely have to get our hands on a wood chipper at some point here. But yeah, I think that's probably gonna wrap up my time here today, guys. Think about it. We got we even managed to make $3,000 off of some farmer while we wrapped some of his bales, which I thought was kind of funny. We'll just sneak up along the side here. Oh, look, the cows are over here watching. But yeah, we got. I think we got quite a bit done. This beet field will be done and dusted. Oh crap! Will be done and dusted by the end of the day. No more work to do with that. Just get to the harvest. So between now and the next episode, I will probably come in here and get trees taken down, and then work with whomever I can to put a pad in here. I doubt they'll already have come in to put the greenhouses, but you never know. We might have the greenhouses and irrigation in already. And then we'll likely be mowing, baling, and wrapping in the next one, and potentially even harvesting. So we've got a lot of stuff coming up. So look forward to that. Anyway, so thanks so much, guys. I appreciate you watching another one of these, and I will see you in the next one. Ciao.